and then the next song starts, so it's brand new situation.
Welcome to the Jane Pod.
I think
Jane Kaskian.
No, I'm okay.
Episode number.
My name is now Pod.
Episode number 27.
I'm Pod.
What's up, Pod? And we're here again with Nora.
Hi.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's fun. But yeah, what do we got going on today, friends?
I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard not to go into like a skit where I'm suddenly Pod. Okay, no, content. So, I am going to start talking about Valheim because it's important to something else.
Make it short, please. Make it short.
It's a really fun video game that came out. I recommend people check it out. But what it's doing for me is that in the same way that when I was really, really young, I used to get so excited that I'd lose like 10 hours in a video game, and I'd wake up in the morning and I would do all my stuff, like go to school, and I'd just be thinking, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get home. Like, I'm going to go play, and I'm going to play all this time and blah, blah, blah. Like, that feeling somehow disappeared from video games for me, from like forever.
Yeah.
Around like 13 or something like that, 12 or 13, it must have just stopped. Like the Halo days. Mm-hmm. I remember those are some of the last times I really felt it. But this game, like, I'm waking up in the morning being like, okay, I'll do my stuff, I'll get this done then and do this thing, and then I get to do the thing. And it's like I wake up and I'm excited for something. And if I can somehow grab, like, this is what really successful people must, like Gary Vee must feel this way about life.
Yeah.
If I can grab this feeling and then apply it to life,
you'd be unstoppable.
I'm gonna take over the fucking world.
Be unstoppable. Yeah, that's the goal, right? Is to like that's the what we were talking about with what's her face when I was talking about like my video game quote addiction with the Danny and how it like hijacks your dopamine and like your reward systems. Basically, it makes you think that you're doing something like really highly valuable and productive, but you're not actually doing something really highly valuable and productive. That like makes you think that you are, but you're not actually.
Well, hey,
it's like the cocaine to your it's like cocaine for your reward systems in your brain.
I feel like it's more beneficial than just that though, because I'm looking at it more of a like this is the first time that I felt this way for a long time about life in general. Like life just kind of like turned off. And it was like every day I was like, well, all right, I guess, like I never got excited about anything. Mm-hmm. Everything was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this and that'll be good. Like it'll be good once I'm done.
For sure.
And now for the first time, even though I'm losing tons of hours to it, it's like life doesn't seem so bad. Like I can appreciate everything a little bit more because there's an element of
because
this.
You
like,
have something that's like
it's something, and
See,
I'm gonna fucking hold on to that something.
That's what games did for me, though. That's what they did for me for like, I mean, like 4 or 5 years now that I've like super got back into video games. I mean, I'm hesitant now because it was destructive for me because I went overboard as fuck. But they like, I don't know, they give you that vibe, that feeling where it's like when you don't feel like you have things in your life that you're like super pumped about doing and you find a really cool game or something that you're really into, it gives you that like that momentum, I guess, to be like, oh, like I'm gonna go and do my stuff because I get to do this thing later, you know?
Yeah, and when you don't got too much going on, it's a fucking helpful tool to have.
Yeah,
something that gives you joy, even if it's a crutch for a time.
For me though, like I'm like approach with caution now. Approach with caution because as soon as it gets to the point that I like stop taking care of responsibilities because I'm playing a video game, it's like
I've generally been pretty good at balancing those.
Yeah, that's why Joe Rogan, like he talks about video games as well. Where he's like, I can't do it, dude. Like I can't play video games. Like he says it regularly about how he just gets so into them that he cannot put him down, and he'll go on like binges, all nighters, and just constantly play and start because it's so they're like, especially competitive games. Competitive games are the bane of my existence. Like, goddamn, when I'm
they don't do anything for
when
me
I'm
at all.
competing with people, like skill wise, when I'm trying to like be better than somebody else, or like like that, you know, like competition wise, it's like it just
That literally does nothing for me.
fucks with. It's just like I need to. Like I feel like I'm.
Like, that's just a drug
crazy.
that does not affect me.
Yeah.
Like, it's enjoyable for a little bit, but as soon as it gets like, I'm like, oh, okay. I never have to do this again.
For sure, I feel that, but I'm that way with multiple types of games. So it's not just competitive games, but
Different personality types. Use the tools you got.
right.
I want to hear about this weird book thing since we just went on a little video game rant.
Oh yeah. What was okay? So this is going to be like a complete 180 from video game topics, but yeah. What So you said you read this book in like 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a book about the universe and consciousness.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It's like a flip side to it though. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of like gurus and even like Teal Swan and stuff, they focus on oneness and like the light side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we live in,
Duality.
Yes.
Yes.
So, this book is not for the faint of heart, but it basically, okay, so it shows the shadow aspect of oneness, which is if we're all one, then we're one. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
No, wait. I mean, yes.
So we're alone.
Oh, we're one.
Oh.
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 That
Yeah.
like all of us together are one.
Collectively just alone.
Yeah. So like with,
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So this is actually fucking great because it's that we were so lonely in our oneness that we split into fragments, so fucking many fragments that like echoes of our loneliness go out.
Yeah.
So those fragments have to like connect together to be like, okay, no, we're not lonely.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, it's I recommend it. It's called The Haunted Universe.
You have it. Can I? Is it over here?
No,
or
bro,
is it
no.
over there?
It's over there.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I was gonna put it in front of one of the cameras.
Haunted
so you can
Universe.
see it. Haunted Universe.
Yes. It is a quick read. So like you don't need to like I read it in 2 hours and that was with many distractions. But like so like Teal Swan talks about like dimensional. So like, we have our separateness and then we have our oneness at the highest level.
Yeah.
So like the highest level of it, yes, is where that void is. Like the consciousness doesn't have an agenda. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, like, because time is not linear. It's like this. If our perspective is like this, but it's like this. So like I'm you and you're me. Like,
Yeah. We're all just different versions of the same one thing, experiencing things from different points of perspective.
yeah. So
Right.
we're like, in the grand scheme of things, we're alone.
Yeah. So the book is like saying, instead of like looking at it as we're all connected, it's like we are one thing, so we are alone.
Yes.
That's interesting. And I guess that's
I kind of like it.
It's a weird. I've never heard that take. I guess like spiritually, because it's like the way that I understood it was like universally we like everything is one or was one. Source is one individual thing, and in order for it to like learn and know about itself, it had to fragment and fracture and start basically the entire process of evolution and everything, and it fragmented and fractured into all of these different like octopus tendrils or legs or tree branches, which are our conscious perspective and our awareness, and eventually it grew to the point that we were us, and we have these like crazy, complex minds and lives and relationships, with each other, and very complex like biological systems to, process the entire experience that we have. And through doing that, we're updating and basically helping the universe or source or God learn about itself and to know itself like through multiple perspectives. But in that way, we really are, I guess that makes sense. We are really technically alone.
Yeah.
Technically.
I think that shit's
weird.
empowering.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how lonely you are utterly always alone. So
No matter what.
it doesn't matter what you do. You're just tricking yourself, just like you tricked yourself into thinking you're multiple different creatures.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're all just alone, and that's not wrong.
Right.
And there isn't anything wrong about that. It would just get boring to be alone.
Sure. I'll leave the book with you guys so you guys can read it. It's
Okay.
like I said, it's a quick read. I highly recommend it. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, because I read it, I had a spiritual teacher, and she just knew like the type of person I was, and like I struggled with oneness and like the positive vibes and oh my God, we're all one and like happiness. And so she had me read this book, and it explains why, because like I'm just more drawn to that side of the duality coin.
Yeah.
Like that reality.
The shadow side.
Yeah, the shadow.
The lonely side.
Yes, the lonely side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many, truthfully though, like how many people in this world, we talked about this in our podcast with Krista, how many people in our Western lives, I guess, like really, really feel like they have a solid base and a solid community and family and really feel like connected and not alone. And like how many people do either of you know that really honestly like feel whole right now, that aren't struggling with some kind of, either mental illness or how many people?
The people that I the people that I imagine, the people that I'm filling in with that space.
Yeah.
I know that they have their own problems, so it's not fair to say like, oh, they are those people. So it's like a two-pronged kind of thing. Like, is anybody ever? Because they're always going to have those moments.
Yeah.
When it doesn't seem like that.
That's true. I don't think there is an answer for that, though. I don't think.
I think it's just part of the experience.
The experience itself is like, there's always going to be some level of balance and pushing back and forth between those two, I guess, realities in existence. But that's really interesting. I'm curious to read that book. It should be pretty cool.
Yes, but it's also a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet. It's been a long time since I've read a book, like in general.
Well, good.
So,
it's set up in a way that it'll be a quick read for you too.
yeah.
It's
okay.
You should read it before you go to bed. It'll help you sleep.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
But
It'll make it worse.
yeah, right. Just sit and read and think about craziness. But yeah. Grant, what are you doing? We're in a podcast.
I'm hanging out with my cat.
We're in a podcast.
But he's such a good cat. Go on, cat.
You do realize that we're trying to entertain people.
I'm entertaining myself. I don't give a fuck. People can tune in if they want.
Well, then fine.
What were we talking about? Where are we?
Yeah, see, there's the problem.
What day is
the
it?
distraction of the cats every time. we got to lock them away.
I think the cats are one of the best parts of the show. You never know when they're just going to show up and be like, I'm going to fuck up this camera. Guess what? I'm on the table. # cat stuff.
Yeah,
Sniffing my toes.
maybe. But yeah, talking.
Might have good toast. Sniff. I don't know.
But
Oh no! Why'd you take it there?
I didn't say anything, so you took it there too.
I guess. I was just interpreting facial expressions. So where are we at? What are we doing? Who are we?
I don't know. You fucked it up with the cats.
I fucked it up. You fucked it up. Shouldn't have yelled at me for having a
Children.
cat.
You gotta
Children.
pay attention.
I will turn this car
No,
around.
we're gonna argue.
Are we in a car? Are we podcast carring?
I'm gonna argue with Grant until, we're just gonna fight.
Okay, fight.
Just fight.
I mean, if this ends up just being like a clip, like a 15-minute clip, and then we go into like an hour-long fight about nothing, that's some high-quality podcast right there.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is the problem when we don't have specific topics we want to
We
go
have
on.
a specific
what topic? Tell me the
goddamn
topic.
book.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the book, and then you got distracted by a cat.
Well, you guys didn't get distracted. Let's keep talking.
What the-
I'll join in.
I depend on you, Grant.
I depend on you, Grant.
I depend
no
on
one
you
should depend on me.
to interject with your thoughts and ideas, and it moves the conversation forward.
Well, I didn't know I was doing that.
That's how conversations work, Grant.
Well, if the universe wanted me to have full-on conversations, it wouldn't have made cats, now would it?
Yeah, that must be how it works. Okay.
And that's victory. Anyways, so Dark Side of the Universe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yes.
I mean,
Duality. That's what we're talking about. Positive and negative experiences.
what else do we need to say about it?
What does it mean?
It means duality. Positive would be boring. Negative would be torture. You need them both. I don't know. Where are we going? What are we doing?
I don't know. This is terrible. This is absolutely fucking terrible.
That's what happens when you rely on me to start the conversation before we have a
No.
flow going.
You did fine. You did fine.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Apparently, it's my fault. But since I don't give a shit, and I don't expect this to make it to podcast, I'm pod.
Yeah. Well, it is gonna make it.
This is a nope. Now I am pod, and I'm going to make a persona for pod.
The Jay and Pod podcast.
I dig
No,
it.
it's still Jay and Kaskian, just sometimes pod.
It's like what are they called?
I feel like this is an important moment. I'm creating a character.
A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. What are those? What are those things called?
Vowels?
Vowels. You're like a vowel. Kaskian and sometimes pod. No, Y. You're like the vowel Y.
I can't right now. You're posting this.
Yes, I absolutely am posting it.
Okay, good.
I have no shame.
Okay, good.
I have no shame.
I'm pod.
I have done significantly
Oh,
sillier
that's not it.
podcasts in the past. It's okay.
Gotta find Pod's voice, guys. This podcast is gonna be about Pod now. Who is Pod? I feel like Pod came from the village. I feel like Pod. He grew up in sunny grass fields.
You have a
rolling hills.
microphone that you must speak into.
Shh. I'm talking about Pod. Pod lived a comfortable life. Till the war. Oh, poor Pod. He was too young. He wasn't prepared. That war changed him.
Was it Nam?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know what war Pod went to, but he went to it. And it scarred him deep. And Pod only came back a shell of a pod.
Shell of a pod. You mean a pod?
Wait. Now I understand everything. Now I understand everything.
Go on.
This is horrible. This is absolutely fucking horrible. What is did we all get just insanely high before we came on here?
No, I deliberately
like-
got only a smidge high, the tiniest smidge, like normal functioning level highs to do this podcast because I was like, no, I'll flow. It'll have conversation. It'll be good. It'll be great. And maybe I should get high. Maybe I should be like, maybe we should take like a 2-minute break and no, that wouldn't be good.
A 2-minute break.
I don't know. I
taken
could just leave. I could just walk away, leave you guys, and then come back. That could be a 2-minute break.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're 20 minutes in and we haven't done anything all that fucking entertaining yet. So.
Burn it now. Gut it and burn it. String it up.
I mean, I'm surprised.
Turn it to string cheese.
I'm actually surprised. Usually our conversations are like, we're just like right in there, on point. This is what we're doing. This is what we're talking about. We're going on about intense, awesome things. And now it's like, where do we go? We're just in this hamster wheel of life, trying to come up with something interesting.
Oh, sorry.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I can see the disappointment in your eyes.
This is one for the books.
Okay. So what number is this?
Number 27.
So 27 is a mulligan.
Number 27 is a fucking mulligan. It's still going up though. I don't care.
Good.
I don't care.
Okay, no, we started.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
We started something. We started the podcast, and we learned from the very beginning. And none of those beginning podcasts were like particularly amazing or anything, but they made their way through. They were good progress. We had to do them. Eventually, we were going to trip. I say, we done did trip tonight.
Episode 27.
Episode 27,
Of
where we
course.
done did tripped.
Of course, when I'm here.
We thought we had content. We didn't. Joke's on you. Anyways, tonight has been a pod broadcast. Please tune in to the next episode of the Jay and Kaskian without pod.
No, dude, we can bring it back.
Oh, okay.
We can bring it back.
I feel like we're just like struggling fish right now. But if you want to try to flop back into the water, man.
Well, what's the whole reason that we started this podcast is so that we could just have conversations the way that we normally would have conversations.
This is exactly how I have normal conversations.
Yeah. Just floundering around, not sure what the fuck is going on.
I feel like I really need to flush out that pod character.
You should write a book.
What if this is some past life shit? Like I have a vivid image of like a blonde, like I don't know, might be German, might be Sweden. He's in those like big flowing hills though. Yeah, and there's pointy mountains, so that would be European mountains. But Pod Man, I think he lived. I think he was real. I think he went to war, and he came back a shell of a pod. Gonna need to figure this out. We need to get our psychic friend back. Be like, okay, can you feel Pod?
Is Pod in the room?
Because Pod
right now?
feels you.
God damn
And
it.
suddenly it's a horror movie. Pod, he's coming through the podcast.
I am a very open-minded human, and I typically am willing to accept many perspectives and points of view. And I say that I accept your idea that you were once a pod in a past life who went to war.
Hear that, universe? I was a pod. An honorable pod.
Indeed.
So,
Yeah, so how'd that getting back on track work out for you?
I don't know. It's just like pick a direction, and then we fucking go.
I'm
with
pretty
it.
attached to
else
this
did you-
pod thing.
what else did you tell me to save for the podcast when we were in the car?
I told you to say things on the podcast. Save. Oh, it was the book stuff. It was just
No, it wasn't. There was something else too.
I wasn't there.
shit. This is why I need to write things down.
No.
This is why I need to write things down. I don't remember, honestly.
Neither do I.
I do not remember.
Okay, now we're in empty space. I'm just going to fill it with garbage or we should end the podcast.
It's 26 minutes of bullshit.
Well, we've put out hours of bullshit before. Who cares?
Just pick a topic, y'all.
Okay. All right.
Or cut.
All right. What?
Cut and stream together later.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I think we should go in the direction of thank you guys so much for watching.
In the next video, we'll be real people.
We'll be real people. We'll have real things to say.
We're ending it?
27 is a mulligan.
Number 27 is a fucking mulligan. This is the first failure we have had in 27
I don't
episodes.
count it a
God
failure.
damn it.
I count it as a learning experience.
Hey, that's what we can talk about. We can talk about learning experiences.
No, I was so
There we
attached
go.
to like leading.
Ha. Okay.
Learning experiences. What has been your most recent learning experience, Grant? Kaskian, sorry.
I'm Pod. Learning experience.
Nora, what about you? Do you have a learning experience?
I'm sure, but you put me on the spot, so my mind's blanking.
Jordan, do you have a learning experience? Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Don't start a podcast without having a more fleshed out direction and
I
topic.
have said this so many times, and
But we always come through.
and every time you argue with me, and you're like, "No, we'll come through on this. It'll be okay." And it's like, okay, every time maybe we kind of like worm our way through, but God damn it, it catches up.
27 episodes it took, Grant, for us to not do it, to us not worm our way through.
I blame myself.
I
You
have
why do
zero
you-
blame on you. Why would you do that?
Oh, no.
Dude, like I'm the most distracting person. I'm also screaming in my microphone right now.
That's true.
I am the most distracting person. I'm distracting myself. You are delightful.
Well, thank you.
Now shut your mouth and be nicer to yourself.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching episode number 27 of the Jane Kaskian podcast. It has
can't
been
always be
fantastic. Thank you so much, Nora, for being here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this again, and we're going to come in with a better idea of what the fuck we're talking about, even though we had an idea of what we were talking about.
It wasn't juicy enough. We needed more juice.
I still blame him. It was the cat.
I accept all of the
Everything went south with the fucking cat.
I think
it
it's
went,
just a blame game.
I think it went south with Pod.
From the very beginning.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
You know what? Just for that, Pod's coming back. I don't know when. I don't know where. But he's coming back.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, folks.
Kaskian out.
Maybe it was somewhat entertaining to watch us bomb horribly.
You know, someday
Fucking horribly.
when we're dead and gone and people find this, it'll be an entertaining thing for them to watch. They'll be like, wow, life was different back then.
It was. And we just hit exactly 30 minutes, and I'm about to let us go.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.